Well, they have good luck with that there.
And look up Nation of Aztlan YouTube.
Yep, I already know about it.
And Mexican American Studies is teaching books that I have two of them with me. They have quotes in them: "Kill the gringo, execute all white males over age 16.
Correct.
We must destroy capitalism. Any government run by capitalism is run by greed." They're teaching the kids books written by, a lot of them by communists and socialists, and they're teaching them to make a revolution on the United States.
You are
That's
correct.
funny. They're saying to kill capitalism. What are these cartels all about? Capitalism.
Cartels are part of the Aztlan movement.
Right, but they're all about capitalism off of drugs.
Aztlan walking by.
What's the rope?
Who is in Mexico and is not present tonight to hear this, but is in my heart and guiding my thought to speak to you. My name is Raul de la Rosa. I am 10 years old and in the 4th grade at Mission View Elementary in South Tucson. I am the youngest of 4 children who were all born here in the United States. My brothers and sister Naomi, who is a high school sophomore, are living separated from my mother, who is forced by confusing, unfair border laws to remain in Mexico with what feels to me like no hope of being with her children. I have been separated from my mother by these immigration laws since I was 4 years old. In 2009, returning from my visit to Zacatecas to visit mi abuelita Maria, my mom got deported and has not been allowed back to the United States to see all that her children have accomplished. At 4 years old, I really did not understand what deported meant. Deportado, what is that? I remember a border patrol car stopping my mother and father. I was in the back seat with my sock monkey, not knowing my life and the life of my brothers and sister would become a nightmare. For a short time, I stayed in Mexico with my mother, but she tells me now we are separated because she wants me to have a good education. We visit her often as we can. I love when I smell her mole, her arroz, and enter the door to a really tight hug. And she says, "Te extrañé mucho." I try not to be sad, knowing I will need to leave without her. Back to the United States, where we live her dreams for her of a good education. My father is elderly. He is 82 and in very poor health. I worry a lot about him. Most days it's hard for him to get up and walk. Without my mother, my sister, who is now 14, has to do much of the cooking, cleaning, and regañando when I don't get to bed before 10. My brothers could not help at the time because my oldest brother Jim was serving in the Marines for the past 4 years. This January, my father got really sick. So my brother has finished his career as a Marine, serving the United States, to take my mom's place because of unfair border laws that don't allow her to be with their children and my sick father. My mother has missed many important events, such as parent-teacher conferences, birthdays, Naomi's promotion, Jim's graduation, and especially my brother's Bill High School graduation, where he received an important Bill Gates full scholarship to Bowdoin College in Maine. Bill is there now, and he says he is becoming a lawyer to change immigration laws to help my mother. I hope my brother becomes a lawyer soon, because kids like me need their families together. I need my family together because my dad is elderly. And if my dad passes away, I want my mom to be standing next to me. Right now, that would not be possible without us changing. The immigration laws have kept my mother away, but not her spirit, her words, and her hope that motivate her kids. I hope all of you can make a change in the laws and change the pain that keep families separated by a border. I hope something is done soon. My mother's words to all of you who are trying to change the law is, "No se den vencidos." Don't give up, please. I want want to thank all of you for your hard work. I also want to thank my school, friends, teachers, and especially Ms. Liz, my counselor. Everyone has helped me and listened when I needed to talk. I also want to express appreciation to my brothers and sisters who guide and support me by example. By the way, remember the sock monkey I had in the backseat when I was 4? And the border patrol stopped us? My mom places it in her bed at night and hopes, prays for the dreams, for the day that she can be with her children.
Thank you for coming, and thank you, Congressmen, members, Grijalva and Gutierrez, for inviting me to speak. I'm Raul. I am 12 years old and a 6th grader at Sierra Middle School. Most importantly, I am a dreamer. Tucson is the only home I have. Tucson is the only home I've known. My family is here, my classmates and teammates are here. My dream is to go to college and learn how to design and build robots that can help make the world a better place is based here. I can't wait to apply for DACA. My mom, dad, and I have already gathered all of my paperwork to apply for DACA. As soon as I can, you will find me at the post office mailing my paperwork to apply for DACA. My mom and dad, my brother, and I have been praying for the day when I can receive DACA. Two of the most important things in my life are my family and baseball. I play on 3 teams, my school team, my little league team, and my club ball team. My dad is an assistant coach for both of my brother and me and my team. My mom, Raul Loreto, has always come to my game. She volunteers in the snack bar and cheers us on. You may know about my mom because she is fighting her deportation so she can stay with me and my brother. It is probably no surprise that sometimes my family and I are not able to fully participate in the teams because we are undocumented. Yesterday, my school team was going to play a school tournament in Nogales, Arizona. I couldn't go because I don't have DACA yet and can't go through this checkpoint. This meant my team couldn't go either because they needed their pitcher. When we have away games, sometimes my dad, who coaches, also can't go. Worst of all, my mom can't cheer for me. Sadly, I have missed my mom cheering for me since she took sanctuary, and I hope that when I receive DACA that her deportation will also be stopped, and she can come back and cheer for me. I hope that I can apply for DACA soon, but I know that more is needed for people like my mom. Right now, my family is fighting to stay together. You may have seen the signs around town that say, "We stand with Rosa." That's my mom. My mom is Rosa. I want to thank all of you who support my mom and family. We will keep fighting to stay together. I know that many of you are fighting too. We have to keep fighting for DACA, but we must also fight for immigration reforms.
For inviting me to share my story with you. So I am a DACA student. I am a student at Eller College of Management at the University of Arizona. This May I will be graduating with a bachelor's degree in finance. I've recently learned I've been accepted to the Master's in Finance program, and I'll be starting this August. DACA students attending now, it is difficult to obtain an education, even when we have DACA. For instance, I have to pay an out-of-state tuition. I don't qualify for financial aid or loans, and also I don't qualify for a great number of scholarships. But despite that, I believe that DACA is a tremendous benefit, and I want to share my insight on how DACA has helped me. Before DACA, I always ran the risk of deportation. I could not work in the U.S. legally either. Not having to, not having to worry about facing deportation is a huge relief. Also, being able to work lawfully has helped me improve my current economic situation. And I work now at a job that's provided me with skills that I can use towards my future career. Before I got my DACA permit, I worked as a nanny. I was really fortunate that I worked for a very nice family, but at the same time it was frustrating that I was not getting the work experience that would be beneficial towards a career. I could not work for anything finance related because I did not possess the proper documents. Earning my college degree meant I could not work in my field. Because I was granted my DACA permit, I have a job now doing data analysis and accounting, which are important components of finance, and I also have been able to travel for work. Just being allowed to, travel by plane is, it means a lot to me because I don't feel as confined anymore. Just something as simple as that. Just as simple as boarding a plane and not running, running the risk of getting detained. And also, I want to say that I understand that change takes time. I see DACA a step towards change, even though it is still a challenge to obtain a university education. I believe in finding alternative solutions in order to accomplish my goals in the meantime. For example, I have done everything you can imagine to raise the $16,000 of tuition per semester. I've had to change my path many times, but ultimately the goal was always the same: to obtain a university degree in order to have an opportunity at a better life. I've been in situations where I don't have money to cover the previous semester, and I cannot get registered for classes. I've also, but what I've done is pushed to move funds. I've fundraised to enable me to reach my goal. Also, I had to compromise. I had to skip one semester and drop my second major in economics. And I'm taking 20 credits a semester while working. And I had to go through all of this to be able to graduate in 3 semesters worth of coursework. Despite these difficulties, I believe all the chaos I've been going through is a blessing in disguise because I have the opportunity to get a master's degree, but most importantly is that having DACA gives me the ability to utilize the degree I have always wanted. With that, I want to acknowledge that it's difficult to obtain this education, but I also think DACA is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for us to take challenges and succeed. These success stories will become now.
Of introducing a dear friend, Congressman Gutierrez. Before that, I want to thank a wonderful, talented young lady who sang our national anthem. It reminds me of, I think, something important that she sang, that there are some that believe that this flag is proprietary. It only belongs to some, and it doesn't belong to others. And that its traditions, its history, and its hope is only for certain people. And if you disagree, you have another point of view, then that flag doesn't belong to you. I think the young people that spoke today contradicted that kind of thinking effectively and more powerfully than any of the words that I might add to it. This nation, it is about the effort, it is about equal protection under the law, and it is about the rule of law, and it is about a tradition that's made this country great, and that's an immigrant tradition. And the hue and the difference in the people that come here does not matter. And anybody sitting here that is not of Native people, the first Americans, all got here through immigration. You got here voluntarily, or you came here in chains. But you came to this nation. And now this nation, one of the strongest and most powerful in the world, owes a debt of gratitude to its immigrant tradition and its immigrant history. It occurs, and it will continue to occur. There's an inevitability to what this nation will continue to be strong, and the immigrants and the immigrants coming to this country and in this country are going to continue to grow, prosper, and strengthen this nation. This flag belongs to all of us. It is not the right. Exclusive club that feels that hate, bitterness, demonizing people is an American tradition. No, it's not. It is un-American not to understand that this flag covers us all and covers us equally. When I got to Congress, one of the first individuals that I had a chance, because I had been watching his work, not only on immigration and a lot of issues, was Luis. And, this whole process.
Because this is garbage. Good luck with the takeover. Good luck with them. I've got names. People just bad manners.
Let me finish introducing Luis. There are moments like that one that just passed to prove the earlier comments that I just made. But having said that, the gentleman has every right to free speech, and I respect it. And we, sir, have a right to assemble, to talk, to lay out our grievances, and to look for solutions to those grievances. And I know that one of the reasons that we're here today is to make sure that people continue to be committed to the idea that what the president did with the executive orders is legal, lawful, and that it needs to be defended and it will continue. I'm not asking for much. You disagree with me? All I'm asking is some common courtesy. That's all.
Once again, these are the rules of conduct. No interruptions, please. Be respectful to our speakers. Thank you. you, otherwise you will be removed.
Arrest them, white privilege.
There's no such thing.
We're going to continue, I think, let me finish introducing my friends. And in doing so, to ask for everybody's prayers. You know, in this nation of ours, we have a democracy. And this gentleman disagrees with me. And each year he has a chance. And we should just leave it at that. Sir, we're having a meeting here. The courtesy we extended to you, extended to the rest of the vast majority of the people here. Okay? You have your opportunity. We've been treated with courtesy to be here, and now people have come here to listen to my colleague. So we need to act courtesy and reflect the rest of the people that are here. No individual in Congress that has dedicated their time, their energy, their resources to promoting decent, fair, equitable immigration reform in this country than Luis Gutierrez.
Generous words of introduction. I'd like to thank the attorneys that are here to help us guide us through the process. I want to first say about Raul. What a breath of fresh air in the Congress of the United States when he came. He gave so much energy and so much vocation to his work. I've enjoyed working with him and collaborating with him within the Hispanic caucus, with outside of the Hispanic caucus, to make sure that we change our broken immigration system and fix it. So thank you, Raul, for asking me. Let us all listen to one another. We just heard a 10-year-old, Bob, come and give, I think, everybody a lesson in civics here. And I think that people should respect that young man's courage, because it takes a lot of courage to come up here at 10 years of age, to talk about your mom, to talk about your brothers, your sisters, and the pain that you feel given the broken immigration system. And anybody's heart wasn't broken by that story, I guess they don't have a heart. The young man is crying right now. He's crying because he wants his mother. And if the American government cannot protect an American citizen child from the absence of their mother, then what can the American government do? To commit themselves to making sure that 5 million American citizen children, who through no fault of their own, have parents that are undocumented and risk each and every day being separated from them. And that is a human tragedy. It's an American tragedy that we're here to make sure it comes to an end. Quintessential American, they say it's football, I say it's baseball. I'm from Chicago. I'm Puerto Rican, we love baseball. And to listen to him speak, he's only 12 years old. Listen to him speak about his mom, and about how much he loves his mom, and to thank you all for helping his mom, Rosa. We're going to make sure that Rosa one day leaves that sanctuary. like my daughter. Listen to her speak. What do you hear? I hear an American. Watch her as she pledges the allegiance to the flag of the United States. What do I see? I see an American. Somebody who is studying and contributing. What do I see? An American. She's American in everything but a simple piece of paper. And guess what? One day, we're going to get her that piece of paper. It's wonderful to be in Arizona. Especially when you think about it. You have two U.S. senators, Senators Blake and Senator McCain, both of whom voted for and adopted measures in the U.S. Senate that are broader, more expansive, and more generous than any of the President's executive orders. Those are your two U.S. senators in the state of Arizona. And I got to tell you something. I'm happy to be here because the last time, 4 years ago, Raul, I was in Arizona. And you know what we didn't have? We didn't have 700,000 young people free from the fear of deportation. They were getting them in California and in New York and across this country. And now they're going to get them here in the state of Arizona. Executive orders, what are they?
Unlawful.
They are actions on behalf of the President of the United States that allows, they are actions on behalf of the President of the United States that allows 5 million undocumented workers in this country to legalize their status. And how do they legalize their status? They legalize their status by coming forward to the government, submitting to a criminal background check, at their own expense, and only if it comes back with a clean bill of health, and they've been here 5 years, and have American citizen children, will they be granted a work permit in the United States of America. Look at the President of the United States of America. Now think about it. Aren't we safer as a nation to allow 5 million people to come out of the shadows, present themselves to the federal government, go through a criminal background check so we know who they are, we know where they live, we know who they work for. I think it is so much more beneficial to have them on the books than off the books. To have them raising their American, think about it a moment, because you can scream and you can yell and you can disagree. But how can you disagree fundamentally with the right of a child, an American citizen child, to live peacefully in his home with his mom and his dad and not fear their separation? Conservative newspaper, New York Times. Read their editorials. They want comprehensive immigration reform. This is not a religious dispute. Catholics and Jews, Muslims, Presbyterians, men of different and women of different religious backgrounds have all come together. Very conservative men of the evangelical movement and the Pentecostal movement are today saying Congress begin to act and fix our broken immigration system and stop the separation of families. The AFL-CIO spends tens of millions of dollars in the Congress of lobby, and so does the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And they both agree on what? Comprehensive immigration reform. So if you look from an editorial point of view, if you look at this from an economic point of view, if you look at this from a religious point of view, in every sphere of American society, Americans have come together as they have in the past to bring justice to its immigrant community, and that is why we will prevail today. In this movement and in this fight, I left this morning. I left my wife. I left my grandson. I left my daughter. I left my son. I left them. But you know what? They know that I'm going to return tomorrow home. My wife has that certainty. My children have that certainty. And I got to tell you something. I'm not going to rest in the Congress of the United States until every man that wakes up in the morning, every woman that wakes up in the morning and leaves his family behind to go work gets to come back to that family. They were just simply going to make the situation so harsh that they will simply self-deport. They have we're not in charge, the Republicans are in charge. But last year they adopted a budget that allows for the Department of Homeland Security to deport 400,000 people. That's the money we assign to them. For 400,000 deportations, not one more. Now there are 12 million undocumented workers, 400,000. All we are saying is it makes sense to go after gangbangers and criminals and not families and children from one sport in the United States of America. If we prioritize those that are a threat to our society versus those that are contributing back to our society. That's all we're saying. So, I've come here tonight to say we need to continue to tell those people that have been here 5 years, ready to go through a criminal background check at your own expense, we're not paying for it. And if you come back with a clean bill of health, and you have American citizen children, or they're permanent residents of the United States, we're going to give you a work permit for 2 years. And be careful, because during those 2 years, now that you're registered with the government, you better watch everything that you do. Because now you're registered with the government. Now tell me, that seems to me to be a practical, sensible move in the right direction while the Congress of the United States finally comes about concluding with comprehensive immigration reform. And I want to let everybody know, look, I know lots of people are left out. This isn't the immigration reform that we've been fighting for. This is a step in the right direction. And today we were in the 5th Circuit because this is a law of land. This is a law. This is a land of laws. And we went to the 5th Circuit today and we argued. And we made an argument that the president's executive order should be sustained. Now some of you will say, well, Luis, don't you think this is an expansive executive order, something unprecedented? Let me tell you something. Abraham Lincoln didn't go to the U.S. Senate. Abraham Lincoln didn't go to the Senate before he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He did the right thing, signed that Emancipation Proclamation and freed slaves. Didn't go and ask anybody in the Senate or the House to do it. That was an executive order. And subject to the to reflect that action of the President of the United States. Let me just say one other thing to everybody here so you think this is expansive. President Truman, after President Truman, don't engage. Let's continue to have a conversation here and keep ourselves on the positive. There are a lot of people that they count on us. They need us. They don't need us to be distracted. They don't need us to be set aside. Okay? So let me just say this. Think about it, World War II. We fought fascism. And we defeated fascism in Asia. And we defeated fascism in Europe, the Nazis. And then after World War II, after that was defeated, guess what? They still had segregated armed forces. They had black units. They had Mexican units. They had Puerto Rican units. They had Asian units. They had Indian units. They had units of every stripe and every color. Segregated the armed forces of the United States. Let me just say to you, President Truman didn't go to the Senate. And President Truman didn't go to the House of Representatives and ask for a vote to desegregate the armed forces of the United States. He did it because it was the right thing to do. And in 1963, 15 years later, the Congress of the United States finally caught up with President Truman and passed the Civil Rights Act, ending segregation. Is exactly what other presidents have done in other historical moments in the nation when they have seen injustice and unfairness. So I am saying to you tonight, we're going to do good. We're going to make sure. Now, I want to let everybody know this is not going to be easy. You got to do some stuff. Here's what you got to do. You got to prove when you got here to the United States that you've been here for 5 years. So please put together all your documents. What does that mean? Well, everybody got a cell phone these days, right? So call Sprint or AT&T, whoever, and make sure they send you your bills with your name for the last 5 years, right? Get your medical records. Go to the dentist, right? Go to the doctor, get those records. Hey, I know a lot of people like to send money back to their loved ones. All those receipts that when you send money back to Western Union and MoneyGram, you send them money. Put all those things together. Your rent receipts. Many of you baptized your children. Put those documents together. All of those things. And here's what I want you to do. Think about it. I don't need something for every month during the last 5 years. I need something for every 6 months. So if you got something for January, find me something for July. And then find me something for November. Find me something that shows that there isn't a broader period of 4 to 5 months every year for the last 5 years. And guess what? Go to the agency, go to Matricola Consular. You can get one from the Mexican government. What does that mean? That attests to who you are so you can identify yourself when you present yourself before the American government. And you need to get a birth certificate. And start getting them now. Because when we finally win in the Fifth Circuit, there's going to be a rush for all the Matricola Consulares to get those birth certificates. So get your Matricola Consular now and get your birth certificate. If it's from Guatemala, in Chicago, we've got to line up for the Polish. And got to line up for the Irish embassy. And got to line up for the Philippines. I know everybody thinks everybody's from Mexico that's undocumented. It's just not true. Millions of people come from all over the country. Every time I come down to Arizona, they say, secure the border, secure the border. Let me just tell you, there are 5 million undocumented workers in the United States that never crossed that border. You know what they cross? LAX. They cross O'Hare. They cross JFK. They get everything would be fine. They would still be. You know what Raul and I are for? Closing and making sure that every border in America is secure. Not to the United States and Mexico. That can solve the problem. So I just want to say, look, they are, you know, and sometimes I watch the commercials when I come down here. I said, I hope all those Mexican actors are getting a little money for all the time they're on TV. And all those mean, nasty commercials, which don't represent the best spirit of America. So all I'm trying to say is, look, we want to secure the border, we want to secure every border, but the first way you start is by ending the illusion that somehow 12 million people are going to deport. I got to tell you, you know, when I'm going to leave here, and next weekend I'm going to Portland, and then I'm going to go out to, I'm going to be in Washington State, and I'm going to be in Oregon. And you know what I'm going to say? Yo voy a ir a ver la gente pescando. ¿Ah? ¿Qué es lo que tú dices? Cristiano. Sometimes I get it confused between that Puerto Rican and Mexican Spanish. Right? No, I'm going to go out there. And what are they going to be? Man, I ate some of the most delicious grapes picked with foreign hands. I picked some of the most delicious oranges and apples picked with foreign hands. The fact is, if nobody in America goes about the business of having children, educating those children so they can go in the fields and pick the fruit and the vegetables that we rely on. Because they sustain a vital industry for the United States of America. They put the food into each and every day. I'm going to tell you something. I see who it is. The fact is the federal government would tell you that 75% of all the agricultural workers in America are undocumented. If they actually left the United States of America and self-deported, there would be nothing at your grocery store for you to pick up. I just want to say, we need immigration as we've always needed it in the past. I need you to go out there and get your birth certificate. So if you're an undocumented, you've been here 5 years, ponme todos esos documentos. Entonces vete a la matrícula consular y a tu consulado, sea guatemalteco, salvadoreño, y busca una matrícula, una identificación. If you have a pasaporte, porque tú eres gente, pues, that's even better. I'm not saying you got to get a pasaporte, but if you got one, entonces va como de limusina, ¿verdad? Mercedes-Benz identificación, pasaporte. But you go get your passport. And then what you need to do is, you need to get the birth certificates of your children. And you need to put that in a file. You need to put all those things together. Because let me let you in on something. If you have never been before immigration agents before, you've been here 5 years, and you can put those documents together, and you are stopped by an immigration agent, you should simply tell the immigration agent to let you go, that you are the parent of American citizens, that you've been here for 5 years, that you have not committed any crimes in America, and they should simply let you go because you are not a priority for deportation. Every time I come to Tucson, there's even better news. And eventually, we're going to come here one day when we're going to fill this auditorium and auditoriums just like it across this country as we legalize the millions of people. I'm going to end with these words because I was thinking, as I was traveling around, it occurred to me. I went down to Birmingham, Alabama, and I was in South Carolina and North Carolina, Charlotte, And it occurred to me something, because I kept thinking about this argument that they keep making. So I want to share with you, because mucha gente me dice, pero Gutierrez, tú eres muy pequeño. ¿Por qué te importa tanto? ¿Ah? ¿Por qué te importa tanto? Y le voy a explicar por qué. I want to tell you why. My mom and dad, my mom came here, she was 18 years old. She didn't speak a lick of English. My dad came here, he was 20. He didn't speak English either. They didn't have a coat. They didn't know what it was like. But you know what? They were desperate for a new life. And so they came to America. They went to New York. And let me just tell you something. It wasn't like a million Puerto Ricans showed up in New York and there was a welcome mat and everybody saying, what a great idea, you guys all showed up. 1952, it was still separate but equal in the United States. Segregation was still the law of the land when my mom and dad came here. And they faced discrimination, and they faced bigotry, and they faced hatred. And let me just tell you, they were American citizens of the United States of America. And that's what they did. So don't let anybody fool you that this is about who's an American citizen and who's legal and who's not legal. Because my parents came here completely legal to the United States of America. And yet, this is what they said about my mom and my dad in 1952. They said that they came here looking for welfare. They said that they came here because they were criminals. They said that they came here bringing tropical diseases that were going to destroy America. Sound familiar to the arguments that are made today about immigrants? They were wrong about my mom and my dad, and they're wrong about the immigrants who come to America. But you know what? They came at a wonderful time, 1952. Because 2 years later, Rosa Parks said, I'm a woman, and I'm going to sit wherever I want on this bus. In America, throughout the South said, no more will we tolerate separate but equal. A civil rights movement came about that gave us a Civil Rights Act and a Voting Rights Act. And because of that Civil Rights Act and that Voting Rights Act, there is a 4th congressional district and an opportunity for me to serve in the Congress of the United States because of all those men and women that were lynched, all those men and women who had their churches burned and their children murdered in their churches during Sunday services, dogs on them. All of those things happened so that we could get. And I just want to send a very clear message to everybody. You know what? I think about my mom and dad. I think about them each and every day. And I see my mom and dad in the faces and in the lives of immigrants today. And you know what? A lot of people gave up a lot. A lot. They gave up their lives. They gave up their freedom so that I could have the right to one day speak to you as a member of Congress. And so maybe there wasn't anybody in 1952 to stand up for the immigrants that came to America then. But there is somebody in this year to stand up for the immigrants, because there was a civil rights movement in America that gave me a voice in the Congress of the United States, and I'm going to stand up and speak for those, even though no one stood up and spoke for my mom and dad. That's a great country. My grandfather was a citizen, my dad was a citizen, I'm a citizen, and we're going to make sure that everybody else becomes